Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. Disrespect is a mirror. It reflects not just the people who give it, but the ones who receive it. If you find yourself disrespected often, I must ask, what signals are you sending? Respect is not demanded, it is commanded. Not through force, but through presence. Through the way you carry yourself, through the weight of your words, the way you treat yourself, sets the foundation for how the world treats you. It is the invisible force that dictates whether people respect you or dismiss you. If you carry yourself with self-respect, others will have no choice but to acknowledge it. But if you fail to do so, the world will mirror your own self-neglect, treating you as carelessly as you treat yourself. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is not about being loud, demanding, or forcing others to see your worth. It is an internal state of being, a quiet, unwavering sense of value that radiates outward. It is knowing that you are worthy, not because others say so, but because you have decided it for yourself. And once you have made that decision, no one else gets a vote. It begins with the smallest of choices. The way you speak about yourself, the way you carry your body, the way you allow others to treat you. Every time you let disrespect slide without addressing it, you tell the world that it is acceptable. Every time you tolerate something that makes you feel small, you reinforce the idea that your comfort is secondary. But when you begin to correct these behaviors, even subtly, the shift is undeniable. Consider how you walk into a room. Do you shrink yourself, trying to take up as little space as possible? Do you lower your voice, afraid to be heard? Do you apologize unnecessarily, as if your existence is an inconvenience? These are signals, unspoken invitations for people to overlook you. And those who seek to disrespect others, they recognize these signals immediately. They sense who they can belittle without consequence. Now, picture another version of yourself, one who walks with purpose, who meets eyes without fear, who does not fidget or over-explain. This version does not ask for permission to be present. This version understands that self-respect is a silent language, yet one that speaks louder than words. When you embody this presence, people notice, and most importantly, they respond. Respecting yourself means setting standards, firm, non-negotiable lines that define how you will be treated. It means choosing your company wisely, for the people you surround yourself with are a reflection of what you will tolerate. It means having the courage to walk away from anyone or anything that belittles you, even if it is uncomfortable, even if it means standing alone for a while. This does not mean you become confrontational. True self-respect is never desperate for a fight. It is not aggressive, it is simply unwavering. It does not seek to prove anything to anyone. It does not beg for validation. It is an internal assurance, a quiet confidence that needs no defense. When you respect yourself, you do not need to argue for your worth. You embody it. Think of the people you respect most. Are they constantly explaining themselves? Do they allow others to treat them poorly without consequence? Do they tolerate disrespect in silence? No. They have a presence that demands acknowledgement, and it is not because they are forceful, it is because they are certain. Certainty is power. When you are certain of who you are, the world cannot shake you. Disrespect rolls off you like water off stone. Insults lose their sting because they do not define you. People's opinions become background noise, irrelevant to your path. And those who once thought to belittle you, they hesitate because they see that their words hold no weight against your self-respect. But self-respect is not just about how you carry yourself in public. It is about what you do when no one is watching. It is in the way you honor your commitments to yourself. Do you keep your word? Do you follow through on what you say you will do? Do you treat yourself with the same dignity and care that you expect from others? Because if you do not, the world will notice. People take cues from you. If you are inconsistent with your own values, why should they respect them? If you do not treat yourself with kindness, why should they? If you do not demand excellence from yourself, why should anyone else? This is the truth. You do not get what you wish for, or even what you ask for. You get what you enforce. And self-respect is the ultimate enforcer. When you respect yourself, the world adjusts accordingly. Doors open where they once remained shut. Conversations shift. People who once dismissed you take a second look, and those who cannot handle your presence, they fall away, making room for those who can. It is a transformation, not one of changing who you are, but of revealing who you have always been. Beneath the hesitation, the doubt, the need for approval, there is a version of you that stands tall, that does not waver, that understands its worth completely. And when you begin to live as that version, when self-respect is no longer something you think about, but something you are, disrespect will become a foreign language, one you no longer even hear. Silence is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful tools in human interaction. Most people believe that dominance in a conversation or argument is about who speaks the loudest, who insists the most, or who overwhelms the other with words. But real power, true control, belongs to the one who knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Imagine two individuals in a heated discussion. One is raising their voice, throwing accusations, trying to overpower the other with words. The second person, however, remains composed, their expression unreadable, their posture steady. Who holds the real power in that moment? It is not the one who is frantic, desperately trying to assert dominance through noise. It is the one who chooses silence as their response. Silence unsettles people. It forces them to hear their own words, to sit with their own discomfort. When someone tries to provoke you, they expect an emotional reaction. They want you to engage in their drama, to lower yourself to their level. But when you stay silent, when you give them nothing to feed on, they are left with only their own energy, and that energy quickly fades. They start questioning themselves. They start feeling foolish. They start realizing that their words have no effect on you. This is why some of the most powerful individuals in history, those who command immense respect, are often the ones who speak the least. When they do speak, their words are measured, intentional, and impactful. People hang on to every syllable because they know that when such a person speaks, it is worth listening to. If you are someone who speaks impulsively, who rushes to respond to every challenge or insult, you give away your power freely. But if you are someone who knows how to pause, how to let the weight of a moment settle before you respond, if you even respond at all, then you become someone people respect. There is a reason why the strongest people in any room do not feel the need to prove themselves. They do not need to validate their existence with unnecessary words. Their presence alone is enough. The moment you stop over-explaining yourself, stop defending every little thing, and start choosing your words with precision, people start paying attention. They start treating you differently. A man who does not react to disrespect commands more fear than one who fights back with words. Why? Because he shows that he is beyond petty battles. He does not operate on the same frequency as the ones who seek to bring him down. He is in control, not just of the situation, but of himself. When you master your silence, you master your presence. This does not mean that you must always be quiet. It means you must be selective. Not every insult requires a response. Not every argument is worth your time. Not every battle is meant to be fought with words. There is an art to silence. And when you learn it, you gain something that few people ever do: true respect. The next time someone challenges you, disrespects you, or tries to draw you into a pointless conflict, do not be so quick to answer. Let them talk. Let them wonder why you are not reacting. Let them see that their words mean nothing to you. Because when people realize that their disrespect does not move you, they stop giving it. They start seeing you differently, they start treating you differently, and they start respecting you not because you demanded it, but because you commanded it through the sheer force of your presence. Becoming unshakable is not about being emotionless. It is about mastering control over your emotions so that no one else can. In life, you will meet people who try to undermine you, test you, and see if they can rattle your foundation. Some will do it out of insecurity, some out of jealousy, and others simply because they thrive on provoking a reaction. But here's the truth: no one can shake you unless you allow them to. Think of a mountain. The wind howls against it, the rain crashes down, and yet it stands unmoved. The mountain does not tremble because it understands its own nature. This is the mindset you must adopt. When someone speaks ill of you, mocks you, or tries to make you feel small, pause, observe, do not react. Most people rush to defend themselves the moment they feel disrespected, but what they don't realize is that their reaction is precisely what the other person wanted. Those who seek to disrespect you often do so because they are searching for control. They throw words at you like weapons, hoping to pierce through your confidence. But words only have power if you let them. When you respond emotionally, you confirm to them that they can influence your state of mind, and the moment you allow that, you give away your power. Instead, let them talk, let them try, and then when they are done, respond. Not with anger, not with desperation, but with absolute calm. The person who controls the energy in the room is always the one who remains composed. There is an old saying, never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty, but the pig enjoys it. People who thrive on drama, negativity, and disrespect want to pull you into their chaos. They want you to engage, because they believe if they can get a rise out of you, they win. But if you do not engage, if you refuse to be moved by their words or actions, they lose interest. They become frustrated, because there is nothing more unsettling to a troublemaker than someone who does not respond as expected. You must learn to detach yourself from the need to be liked, from the need to prove yourself to anyone. A truly unshakable person does not seek approval. They do not require validation from others. When you know your own worth, when you carry yourself with quiet confidence, people sense it. They realize that their usual tactics will not work on you, and that is when respect follows. Silence is a weapon sharper than any insult. When someone disrespects you, they expect a reaction. When they receive nothing but silence, they begin to second-guess themselves. They wonder if they even matter enough to provoke you. And when you show them that they do not, when you make it clear, without words, that their attempt to shake you was meaningless, they lose all power over you. But this does not mean you let people walk over you. Being unshakable is not the same as being passive. You do not tolerate disrespect. You simply do not let it affect you emotionally. You address it, but you do so on your terms. You do not get dragged into petty arguments or heated exchanges. Instead, you make it clear that you are not someone who entertains foolishness. Your boundaries are firm, and you enforce them without needing to shout or argue. Imagine a lion surrounded by barking dogs. The lion does not waste its energy engaging with every dog that barks at it. It knows its strength, and it knows that responding to small provocations is beneath it. This is the level of confidence and control you must cultivate. You are not here to prove yourself to everyone. You are not here to respond to every insult, every slight, every attempt to shake your foundation. You are here to move forward, to build, to grow. People who are truly strong do not announce it. They do not need to. Their presence alone commands respect. And when you reach that level, when you become so certain of yourself that no amount of words or actions can shake you, you will find that people simply stop trying to disrespect you, because they will see, through your energy, through your demeanor, that you are untouchable. Small minds argue, great minds rise above. This is a truth that has stood the test of time, yet so many fall into the trap of engaging in battles that are beneath them. When someone disrespects you, the instinct is to respond, to defend, to fire back with equal force. But tell me, have you ever seen a lion waste its breath arguing with a barking dog? Disrespect is bait. It is a game played by those who seek attention, those who thrive on conflict. When you engage in their petty squabbles, you step into their world, a world where logic holds no weight, where emotions rule over reason, and where your dignity is reduced to mere entertainment for the small-minded. You must ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Consider this. Every second you spend reacting to someone's disrespect is a second stolen from your purpose. The greatest achievers, the strongest minds, the most powerful individuals do not waste their breath on those who seek to drag them down. They understand something vital. Reacting is submission. When you allow someone's words or actions to dictate your emotions, you hand them control over you. You become their puppet, dancing to the strings they pull. And once they see that they can control you, they will do it again and again. So what do? You rise above. You remove yourself from their reach. You make yourself untouchable. That does not mean you let people walk over you. No, it means you let them walk past you, because you refuse to lower yourself to their level. When a fool calls you names, what do you gain by responding? When a gossip spreads lies about you, what power do they truly have if you simply refuse to react? Their words hold weight only if you choose to carry them. Understand this, your energy is currency, and you must spend it wisely. The more you give to the undeserving, the less you have for the things that truly matter. Every time you engage in petty conflicts, you are making a withdrawal from your own greatness. The strongest individuals are not those who fight every battle, they are those who choose their battles with absolute precision. History has shown this time and time again. The greatest leaders, the most revered minds, did not waste time trading insults with their detractors. They understood that silence is a weapon far more powerful than any word spoken in anger. Silence forces the other person to confront themselves. It exposes their own insecurity. It makes them wonder why you are unaffected, why you are unmoved. And in that wondering, they lose their power over you. Imagine a man walking through a marketplace, and suddenly, a fool starts shouting insults at him. The crowd watches, waiting for him to respond, eager for a spectacle, but instead, the man keeps walking, calm, composed, as if the words never touched him. Who looks stronger in this moment? Who holds the real power? The one screaming for attention, or the one so secure in himself that he does not even acknowledge the noise? Disrespect thrives on reaction. The moment you understand this, you free yourself from its grasp. People will try to provoke you. They will try to get under your skin. They will try to pull you into their chaos. But your strength lies in your refusal. Your power is in your ability to rise above. Let others play their games. Let them waste their breath. Let them entertain the masses with their foolishness. You have better things to do. You have a life to build, a future to shape, a destiny to fulfill. And you will not be distracted by those who seek to pull you down. Boundaries are the invisible lines that separate what is acceptable from what is not. They define how people treat you, how they speak to you, and how much access they have to your time, energy, and emotions. If you do not establish these lines with certainty, people will cross them without hesitation, and once they do, the blame is not on them, it is on you for allowing it. Most people do not set boundaries because they fear rejection. They fear being disliked. They fear making someone uncomfortable. But here is the truth. The only people who will be upset by your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. You are not here to make everyone comfortable. You are here to live with dignity, with purpose, with self-respect. When you allow someone to overstep without consequence, you are silently teaching them that their behavior is acceptable, and the more you tolerate, the worse it will get. Disrespect does not start as an explosion. It starts as a whisper, a small joke at your expense, a slight disregard for your time, a subtle dismissal of your opinions. If you ignore it, it grows. What was once a whisper becomes a habit, and before you know it, you have allowed people to make a playground of your dignity. There must be a moment when you say no more, and when that moment comes, you must say it firmly, without apology, without explanation. A boundary is not a debate. It is not a negotiation. It is a statement. This will not happen again. Many people think that setting boundaries means being aggressive, confrontational, or rude. But the strongest boundaries are set with calmness, not anger. When someone oversteps, you do not need to raise your voice. You do not need to explain yourself repeatedly. A simple, clear response is enough. I don't appreciate that. That is not acceptable. Do not speak to me that way. And then you stop talking. You do not argue. You do not plead. You state your boundary, and you let the silence do the rest. Silence is powerful. People expect resistance. They expect justification. But when you stand your ground without excess words, they are forced to confront the weight of what you just said. They realize they have crossed a line, and if they have any sense, they will not do it again. You must also enforce your boundaries with action. Words mean nothing if they are not backed by behavior. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, and you continue to tolerate it, you are sending a message that your words carry no weight. There must be consequences. If someone constantly belittles you, distance yourself. If someone disregards your time, stop making yourself available. If someone oversteps, do not allow them the same access to you as before. The moment people realize that disrespecting you has consequences, they will think twice before doing it again. Some will not like your boundaries, some will push back. They will call you difficult. They will say you have changed, and they will be right. You have changed. And they will be right. You have changed. You have decided that your self-respect is worth more than their approval. and that is a change worth making. Do not explain your boundaries to people who are committed to misunderstanding them. A person who values you will respect your limits. A person who does not was never meant to stay. Respect is not freely given. It is cultivated through the standards you set for yourself. If you carry yourself with self-worth, if you refuse to tolerate disrespect, if you set clear boundaries and enforce them without fear, the world will adjust. People will think twice before crossing you, because they will know when it comes to you, there are lines that will not be crossed. Walk with purpose, speak with precision. These 6 words hold more power than entire books on confidence and self-respect. They separate the uncertain from the unshakable, the invisible from the unforgettable. People who command respect have an unmistakable presence, one that is not loud or forceful, but undeniable. And it all begins with how you carry yourself. Imagine a person walking into a room. Their posture is upright, but not rigid. Their steps are deliberate, unhurried, yet firm. They are not scanning the room for approval, nor are they shrinking away into the background. They are simply present, fully aware of themselves, fully in control of their space. This is a person who does not seek validation, and because of that, they receive it effortlessly. Most people do the opposite. They move through life as if apologizing for taking up space. Their steps are uncertain, their gaze avoids direct contact, their words are hesitant, and the world, ever perceptive, takes note. Disrespect does not always come from a place of malice. It often comes from an instinctive recognition of weakness. People push where they sense they can. They interrupt those who do not seem sure of their own words. They overlook those who do not assert their presence. To never be disrespected, you must eliminate hesitation from your movement and vagueness from your speech. There is a remarkable difference between someone who mumbles their words, filling sentences with uncertainty, and someone who speaks with clarity and intention. When you speak, make every word count. Cut away the excess. Do not explain yourself unnecessarily. Do not seek permission to have an opinion, and do not dilute your thoughts with phrases like "I think" or "maybe." Say what you mean and leave it at that. Silence, too, is part of precision. People who are careless with their words talk too much, revealing insecurities in their need to fill empty space. But those who understand the weight of words know that sometimes saying nothing at all is the most powerful response. A pause before speaking signals thoughtfulness. A moment of stillness after being challenged can be more unsettling to your opponent than any argument you could make. Body language is its own form of speech. Slouched shoulders, restless hands, eyes that dart around the room. These are signs of self-doubt. On the other hand, standing tall, moving with deliberate control, and keeping a calm, steady gaze communicate confidence louder than words ever could. People who respect themselves do not fidget nervously. They do not make themselves small. They do not over-explain or justify. They exist fully, unapologetically, and because they do, the world takes them seriously. People often confuse arrogance with confidence, but the two are entirely different. Arrogance is a performance, a mask worn by those who fear they are not enough. True confidence is quiet. It does not need to announce itself. It is found in the stillness of a person who knows their worth and does not seek to prove it. The key to commanding respect is to understand that you do not need to demand it. You do not need to shout for people to listen. You do not need to assert dominance over others. You simply need to be firm in who you are, unwavering in your purpose, and precise in your words and actions. Those who move without direction, those who speak without certainty, those who hesitate and doubt themselves, these are the ones who struggle with being disrespected. But the moment you begin to walk with confidence and speak with precision, everything changes. People sense strength. They sense certainty. They sense that you are someone who is not to be disregarded. When you enter a room, do so with the knowledge that you belong there. When you speak, do so with the belief that your words carry weight. When you move, do so with the assurance that every step you take is intentional. Carry yourself like someone who has nothing to prove, because the moment you do, you will notice something remarkable. Disrespect will no longer find you.